want and need. So when I argue that there's more unsatisfied need than there is satisfied want, and that even if there was more satisfied want, it'll never have as much weight as the unsatisfied need, that means the game's not worth playing. It means the engine's not worth maintaining in the running condition. It's consuming more fuel than it is producing work, value work. And also quite clearly, nobody seems to be saying, oh yeah, we must have Martians. We're not feeling any, emptiness in the universe because the Martians don't exist, or the Moonikins, or the Mercuryrites, or the Plutonians, or right on down the list. How come none of those civilizations are vital, and this human one is? Oh, I guess that's because it's all about the ego. And we can see the implications of the two states, and we can make judgments about them. And we can clearly understand that there's absolutely no harm taking place when they don't exist. And that's a good. And the absence of the satisfied wants is not bad, because they don't need it. Clearly. The non-existent don't need to exist. They don't need to have what existence provides. And therefore you've eliminated all the downside risk, and it's cost you absolutely nothing real, only some unsatisfied want, not some unsatisfied need, just an unsatisfied want. So yeah, it's all win. So that's the asymmetry, that somehow the existence of human beings is so fucking important, and yet you won't explain to me why the absence of Moonikins isn't vitally important. Why the absence of Martians isn't vitally important. Why aren't the absence of all these other living things bothering you? Why don't they, why doesn't it disturb you that they don't exist? Again, the answer is obvious. It's because you have a personal addiction. You have a personal bias, and you've allowed that bias to distort your perspective. Obviously. There is a difference. You need protection from harm. You want to play the game. Two different things. You don't need to play the game, and you need the protection from harm. So instead just say, I want, because it's something that isn't necessary, but it certainly would enhance your state of being if you had it. So it's not necessary, but if you can get it, it would be great. And the need is something that's more critical. You need to get out of trouble. You need not to be in pain. You need not to be harmed. You need the extraction from the negative is much more important than the acquisition of the positive. What we are is a psychology, all right, that has a rational function, that's also capable of reasoning and doing logic. But at the same time, as it can judge best strategies to satisfy our wants, it can help us understand that maybe we don't need what we want. And to say replication for the sake of replication is obviously not a redeeming function. It's not a redeeming accomplishment. You need to do something to make the reproduction sensible. It needs to do something more. It needs to have a sake of that something else besides just doing the function. For a function to be productive or efficient by any standards of reason or logic, it must do something besides just the function. You are what you do. You are what you do. Yeah, so you are not what you say you want or claim you need. You are what you in fact do.